Hello and welcome back to the latest This is the Music Meets podcast. I'm delighted that friends of the podcast, Rosa Caelum, are today's guests, and we've got a lot to talk about since they were last on the podcast, including their forthcoming new single, The Lovers Were the Last to Leave, supporting the assist in Birmingham, as well as their own headline shows. All this and much more to come on the This is the Music Meets Rosa Caelum podcast. Lads, as I say, welcome back, Rob, Liam, Travis, Ben and Jake. Happy New Year to all of you. How are you all doing?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
Yeah.
Cheers for having us on again.
Yeah, thank you.
No, you're all doing good as well.
Yeah.
Great stuff. As I say, it's great to have you back, and obviously 2023, we're just a couple of days into it now. So have any of you guys got any New Year's resolutions at all that you've made?
Yeah, well, spend more money and drink more alcohol.
That was last year.
Love
Definitely last year. Bloody hell, yeah, definitely. I don't know. I think
Learn to play our instruments.
Oh yeah, big time.
That'd be helpful.
Yeah,
Would.
I don't think I have any, to be fair. I think I'm perfect now.
Brilliant stuff. Great stuff. So obviously, as you guys know, here at This Is the Music, we like to to champion bands, like yourselves, that are trying to make their way on the new music scene. So sort of like looking back across like 2022, what's kind of like bands or maybe like solo artists that caught your eye at all?
Well, we've played loads of gigs now, haven't we? We always try and make an effort to watch the other bands. I mean,
Yeah.
they're putting just as much effort as we do. And there's some amazing ones out there that people won't even know or haven't had chance or platform to show themselves.
I think especially in Birmingham, like who we play with, like for me, definitely like a band called Flake. They're it's just like this bluesy trio, and they're just blow you away every time.
Went to London as well, and we were that was the first time we really felt out of our comfort zone. We saw this band called The O's, and they're really, really good to the point where we was like a little bit like worried to go on after them, because we was like, how do we follow that? It was like that good. But,
it's healthy competition though. We went on and played a good set, but
we've invited them to our own headline, haven't we? Because they were that good. So
So they'll come back up here, support us, and we might go back down to London sometime and support them.
Good little connection.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. And I think what you said there, Rob, as well at the beginning there, I think it is really important that bands are seen to be to be supporting each other, especially at the minute. I've personally seen a few bands that don't. They just turn up 20 minutes or so before their set and that's it, or just leave. I think that's quite sad, but I agree totally there with you that I think you should we're all in it together, and you never know. Hopefully one day there'll be someone headlining one of the big venues, and hey, come down, you can be our support band or whatever. But hey, let's see.
Isn't it? It's like everybody's like all friends and everything as well. So it's just nice to be with like-minded people. So we love it. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Agree totally. So kind of like obviously last year was obviously a very, very busy year for you guys. We're going to talk about the two sort of demo releases that you did. But first of all, I'd just kind of like to sort of like focus on the like the live music side of stuff. Obviously, you played your like first run of gigs as a band, obviously including sold out headline shows at North Street Social in Wolverhampton, and obviously another headline show as well at the Flapper. Kind of like looking back on those shows now, and sort of like maybe even where you are as a band now, like how do you feel that those shows went? And kind of like how were they, like received from the people that were there?
I think we couldn't believe how excited people get over the music, and people who aren't like avid followers or people whose first like gig it was with us. I think they couldn't believe how crazy people sort of like were getting, especially at the Flapper.
Yeah.
It was just it was complete. Everyone was throwing themselves around. It's like, I don't know. The photographer there for North Street Social couldn't believe how crazy it was getting. Like there was people strumming Liam's guitar who were in the crowd and things like that. Really good.
People on shoulders, all sorts.
Yeah.
In like a tiny venue, it makes big
Exactly,
difference.
and
really good
being in the
atmosphere.
first one as well, just having that energy, and then just like you just want to reciprocate it like every time you play live. Just that was a good one for us, I think, and that just we want that more and more now, especially for next week. Yeah,
we've definitely had a lot of gigs that were better than others.
Yeah.
But I think every one so far has just been so important because we've improved on the last one.
Yeah.
I think for some of us anyway, we always watch the videos and listen to ourselves back kind of religiously.
Yeah.
I do anyway, and I listen to all my mistakes, and I make sure I don't do them the next time, but I'll just do something different. It'll never be perfect, but it's always better than the last one, which is always what I think how we progress.
I think if you look at one gig and then look at the next one, it sort of sounds similar, but then say if you skip 4 gigs back, you think, wow, it's a massive progress, and we've become so much tighter, especially compared to our first.
And I think that's so helpful because of the sort of the profile of the gigs that keep going up and up and up, and like playing to more people and just getting tighter is just, it's even more of a bonus for future shows as well, if you know what I mean. Like,
it's only been a year as well. I mean, well, 3 of us weren't even in bands before or anything, so we've learned how to become performers as well as musicians. I think that's really crucial in live music. But you don't really know until you're doing it what you need to do and how you can do it.
It's really tough to kind of learn that as well, because it's not like you get much feedback from it. You only get feedback on like the music, not necessarily the performance.
It's not something you can copy as well. You got to find your own kind of.
If back to our first gigs, I'm just gorming the whole time. It's like I have to rewatch it and embarrass 100 times over. So I actually, pick up some like cool moves, as they call it.
I just on stage like dinosaur jumpers and shit like that.
Yeah, we've definitely got a bit more style now. Sure.
Great to hear, and obviously, I'm guessing really that probably a highlight from last year has got to be supporting the Assist and Bilk, I think, hopefully I pronounced that right. Obviously on the Birmingham legs of their tours that they did last year. So kind of like, what was it like sharing a stage with those two bands? And have you got any like specific memories at all that stick out from either of those two gigs for you?
I think at the Assist gig we did at the O2, doing the O2 in the first place is just amazing. And then by the end of our set, the venue was pretty packed out. And we did a cover of Tainted Love, but like really sort of made it our own. But it was like what we were saying last podcast, how much Jack loves soft cell.
Started as a joke, and now it's become a bit.
It really went off, and the atmosphere was good. You said you heard someone at the bar afterwards saying,
So I was coming off stage after. I think all these lads were in the crowd. I'd gone to put my jacket backstage or whatever, and I walked past the bar and some 2 old people were just at the bar saying, "Oh, I've never seen a band get people to mosh to Tainted Love before."
Wow. On a separate occasion, I was at the bar as well, and I just heard these 2 lads saying, "Oh, did you hear that band cover Tainted Love? That was insane. Like, never heard anything like that before." Which is, it's good to hear. Like, they don't know that you're there.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
And I guess then you can sort of tell that they're not saying it just to please you as well. Like, people actually enjoy it. And that's really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I bet that is kind of like they can hear it coming over, like how like buzzing that you are with feedback like that, which as you say, you don't always necessarily get people about the music or how you've played and stuff like that. So it must be a massive buzz for that. But also, obviously sticking on the theme of live music, you've obviously got your first headline show of the year at the Sunflower Lounge in Birmingham on the 14th, Saturday the 14th of January. I believe that there are a small number of tickets left. So for those that are thinking of coming down, and obviously those that have already got their tickets, what can they expect? What are we going to get from a Rosa Caelum gig for those on Saturday night?
Well, definitely a lot more of our own songs compared to the last headlines, because we've just been religiously like writing and practicing.
I think even if you was at our last gig, you would notice that there's a lot more
new
originals that we've sort of
they're
built.
tasty. They are
They're not just like just
exactly. That's it.
We've proper worked on them, and we've come up with a structured set that we think is quite like smart.
We've polished whatever we played before as well. We've polished all those up. There's some different bits. No, you won't have heard anything that we've actually played yet.
And is there a cover in there? Obviously, you just mentioned "Tainted Love." Are you sticking with that?
And we're gonna cover "No One Knows" as well.
No One Knows. We've done that once before, and that was in the last headline. It's kind of a throwback to that.
And then "On and Lung" by Radiohead. I think that's it for covers.
Yeah.
Nice. Sounds like it's going to be a great night, and we're going to include the ticket link in the episode bio as well, just in case if they're anyone's listening and they're looking for something to do in Birmingham next Saturday night. And so going away now from the live music, obviously last year you released sort of 2 anthems in Killed the King and Idiom, which obviously have gone down as like demo releases, and I guess that's kind of like to get your name sort of like out there into the general public and music lovers ears and eyes, etc. And I think it's fair to say that both tracks were really, really well received. So kind of like for you guys, getting like the feedback back from people across social media and stuff like that, I mean, what was the mood like in the camp? I mean, because obviously no one had not been horrible, like no one had ever heard of you before releases,
I think everybody loved Kill the King for like the demo that it was. It was a good one to first sort of get out there, and then when they hear it live, it's like, it's just one to just sort of go mental to, because it's just with guitars slashing everywhere. And I think like with Idiom, it was just a different kind of it was just different musically, I think, and it was sort of one to push us to write what we've written now. And I think getting that out there was more of like the trigger to sort of say, what can we do better? Mm-hmm. And I think with this next one, we've just absolutely stepped up the game, and it's something different.
I think whenever we gig, like people that come to the shows and listen to it, they're like, want to hear out for Kill the King and Idiom. But I think that's purely because that's the only ones that are out at the minute.
Yeah.
But like, to release the songs that we release now, because we personally think that we've come a long way since. Yeah. I think it will just hopefully snowball. And
I don't think we're massive fans on them.
Yeah, no, we hate them now.
We do.
We're not. We won't be playing Idiom on Saturday.
Probably will be one of the last Kill the Kings as well.
Yeah, I'd say
so. Putting a few more, but
I think we've just definitely come up with much better sounding songs.
Yeah. I don't think we regret releasing them.
Oh no way.
Because
it's progression.
I mean, the first year was all about kind of learning the industry and getting to know what we need to do, and then we've got a good plan for this whole year, so we know what's going to come out, when it's going to come out, and then the next one we'll always be working on the next one, so we'll progress consistently. So that's what we're going to be doing this year.
Definitely,
we've got a good plan.
Sure. Well, I think you guys know how much I personally like Killed the King. Obviously included it in our top 10 singles of the year.
Really appreciate that.
I mean, and it's great to hear, and which, as you just mentioned, Liam, there about the next song. Obviously, The Lovers were the last to leave. Is due out next Friday, the 13th of January, and you lads have very, very kindly let me have an early listen of that, and it's a fantastic tune. And as you've all just mentioned there, how you feel that you've gone up, another couple of levels type of thing in terms of the sound of the song and the production and all that sort of stuff. So kind of like then, what can you tell the listeners? Obviously, we're going to release this before the single's out, probably. So kind of like, what was the creative process for this song?
So it started with a demo that I've made at home, which is essentially, sort of the easiest way forward for us at the minute. We all tend to come up with different bits, but this one happened to be a little demo that I'd done, just sort of music with a basic structure. And then Robert had some words already that we hadn't put to anything, and we just sort of combined them, and then we all got in together, and everybody sparkled like their little bits on it, and it just turned out perfect. And I think from the get-go, I knew that was the one that we've got to release first, because it has kind of the right elements to be the first single. It's punchy enough, it's poppy enough, you know what I mean? It's got everything. That was sort of process, like just getting in the rehearsal room and then sort of polish it right up. And sort of where it is now is where we've had it for a while, so we're really happy with it.
Production wise though, we had it done at Magic Garden Studio in Wolverhampton. And it's quite a
Gavin
well known.
Brilliant.
He's done like the Blinders. Well, he said he did Robert Plant and things.
There's loads.
But yeah, it was. I like how they call it Magical Garden, because it is very magical.
There's
it's quite dull. It's like, I felt like a beetle just for like.
Brilliant stuff, and obviously just on that, that's obviously going to be, presumably that's going to be in the in the live set next weekend.
Definitely.
I think we're sort of planning. That's the gig's kind of like the single release, and then after we're going to go out and sort of celebrate it. You know, why not? There's a club over the road. You might as well go, haven't we?
Well, we're going to in a couple of questions.
Resolution.
In a couple of questions' time, we're going to come on to the band's how can we put it, refueling habits, shall we say? So we're going to chuck some quick fire questions at you now. So the first one is playing live or being in the studio recording.
Playing live.
It's going to be definitely. So that's a no-brainer. Right now. Yeah.
And what so far has been your favourite song to play live?
We'll do it all
If you want to go first. Midnight Tonight for me. I just think it's just like a.
This is a favourite.
It's just like
we've had it for a while.
But
it's always been good.
It's always the one that we'll always come back to. So I reckon that'll be a release pretty soon as well. So Midnight Tonight for me.
I think I'm going to go with another one of ours called Feel No Pain. It's just got some kind of like bluesy energy, and it's just fast, very fast, and slows down. It's gorgeous.
Kind of like the tempo and the swing.
It does.
Like a shuffle as well.
Shuffle. Big time. It's class.
I'm gonna have to go Feel No Pain as well. It's just it's the spot.
It does hit the spot.
Well, I would say Feel No Pain as well. I love the shuffle part, but I also like we've got a song called Jerusalem, and it's very like bass heavy, so it's a lot more fun for me to play, because it's sort of like the intro's bass, and then it's like sort of bass that sort of leads the song. But Feel No Pain is, like we were saying, we slow down for a shuffle bluesy part, and that's probably my favourite part of the whole set. I love it.
Definitely Jerusalem or Tainted Love. I can't believe no one said it, honestly.
Go again.
It's so good to play live.
It is.
We've only done it the once, so to be fair, but it was great.
It was just iconic. Like it doesn't even sound like the original song. It was just sort of much more.
I couldn't stop laughing as well, seeing people mosh pit to take.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
It's amazing.
And what do you prefer buying, either CDs or vinyl?
Vinyl. Yeah, we've all got vinyl collections. We all love it.
We all dabble.
We do. We do dabble. I think we're going to try and get a couple of vinyls for lovers, or to have sort of just as like first single, sort of keepsake. We'll get a few pressed.
We'll send you one.
Fantastic. I'm going to hold you to that.
Definitely. Yeah, got to be vinyl.
Couldn't agree with you more there. And if you could, what would be the one thing you'd change about the music industry?
A lot less perverts.
Of all the answers I was expecting, that wasn't on the list.
It's true though, and
I think it's more inclusion of sort of young. Oh yeah, right. That's it. I can't even carry on, can I?
But
Look what you've done to
Oh wow!
Oh no!
We're doing so well.
Look, somebody's purple.
Oh wow! Have we got any other answers?
He's had one too many.
Right, you shut up now.
No, I'm actually putting a good one. I think it needs to be less follower based and more based on how good you are at the music.
Yeah,
You know, like there's a lot of really good bands with like barely any followers. And that's a big problem because they never get seen. And then
It's very true.
there's a lot of bands with lots of followers, and that's what makes them popular these days. And they're just not as good as some of like the hidden gems. So,
it's just more inclusion, isn't it? And
But just take a chance on someone you haven't heard before, or you know, you might see on Twitter or Facebook.
yeah, definitely. We'd love to champion everybody that's sort of on the similar sort of base that we are, and like tons of them deserve it, but obviously you never get the limelight, do you? You never get the full opportunity. But I think if there's any if there's any way that we could sort of push it forward, we'd love to, because that's we love watching bands like us sort of succeeding and everything. That's all we want, really.
Sure. And what's your favourite sandwich filling?
Right, Trav. Yeah, go Ben first.
Yeah, I like a BLT. Like
Pretty
bacon.
good.
Smart.
I like beef. If you have like a beef cob, that's good.
Yeah.
A raw hamburger.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
You know what I mean? A cold hamburger.
he's lost it now. He's lost it.
I want the meat sandwich is what I'm trying to say.
You got 15 minutes. I'm gonna go like chicken and bacon, some standard.
I think I'm gonna go for like pork, like gravy sandwich. Definitely.
I was going to go chicken, bacon, and lettuce, or turkey and stuffing.
Oh, turkey and stuffing.
Yeah. Rob, you get the trick.
Very, very topical. Well, kind of at this time.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, we'll go with that. So, anyone who obviously follows you guys across social media will know. Obviously, it's very well known, as I say, that that Rosa Caelum do like to party. So what I'd like to know is which legendary musician, or maybe a band from the new music scene, would you want to bring along to enjoy a night out with you guys?
That's a very good question.
I know mine straight away.
A new band.
Not a new band.
Oh, go on then.
Like Jim Morrison.
Oh,
yeah. If you bought Jim Morrison, you probably won't come back alive.
Yeah, I haven't got that power, I'm afraid.
That's a good shout.
I'd probably bring along Ozzy as well.
Ozzy,
Christ, yeah.
Jimmy Page.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going home, are we?
No, we're not. I think that's good enough. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
I want to survive.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, Elton would be brilliant, wouldn't he?
Yeah. I'd love to get him back.
Yeah.
got some stories.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that's sound. I wouldn't want to do any more damage than that.
Yeah.
And obviously, you guys, you've gone from playing sort of like the smaller venues that obviously we touched on earlier, like the North Street Social, and obviously up to the O2 Institute, obviously in Birmingham. So, kind of like the question here is: small venue or big venue?
I feel like they both have their own good bits and bad bits. I think for the O2, it's the best we've sounded from like a sound engineer perspective.
Yeah,
because there's so many people there, just like there to just help you sound as good as you can.
Definitely.
But I think because the room can be too big.
Yeah.
If there's maybe not as many people, the vibe can be a bit off compared to a smaller venue with less people.
Yeah.
But
I think we did quite well with that because we sold a really good amount of tickets and we had a good amount in the crowd there, and the vibe was just brilliant.
It was really good.
But still, small venues you can't like just so close to people.
Yeah,
And,
dirty, gritty event.
Yeah, especially like the flat band. The energy and the sound is exceptional. It really is. Yeah, I both have their ups and their downs, but
we've played more small. So
we have
small.
Yeah.
Play them all, lads. That's it. That's play them all. You don't mind. So kind of like then, obviously we've got the single coming out next week. We've got a little preview that we're gonna throw out, or not throw out literally, but we're gonna put together for next week, and obviously the first headline next Saturday as well. So kind of like what other plans have you boys got in store for 2023?
More gigs, more songs. That's the way to go.
I think we're going to proper kick on. We're going to do mainly, if you can, like support slots this year, just to try and gain a bit more of a following. Probably only do another 2, if not maybe 1 more headline this year. And then just get as many singles out as we can and just try and grow, really.
I think hopefully an EP by the end of the year.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
And also we might have a support tour in September.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's not for definite yet, but we might have quite a decent one. Yeah.
Oh well, that sounds really exciting for what you've got planned, and you know, fingers crossed. Certainly with this support slot that you've just mentioned, that obviously happens. That is unfortunately the end of the This Is The Music Meets Rosa Caelum podcast, Stephen. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure having you all on. And, you know, as I've said already, I think the new single, you can hear from the first single, Killed the King.
But I don't know if you can see my T-shirt. We have a Lovers T-shirt. So, you know, you may see one of these at the next gig. If you want one, we can chuck a signed one in for you.
Brilliant. Nice. So I've got an EP. I've got a copy of the single coming and a signed T-shirt.
Definitely.
So kind of like then, just before you go, can you just let everybody know what social media platforms you are and what your tags are?
It's Rosa Caelum for everything.
Yeah,
but it's
Caelum.
ROSACAELUM.
That's the one.
That's it.
Yeah.
For like Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook,
TikTok, whatever you want.
We've actually become TikTok famous on one video.
Oh, we have, yeah.
We
sort of fashioned it to look like Ben falls over on stage multiple times, and
we got something like 40.
Yeah, it's like 40K or something. Just a little one.
You'll have to give me some tips because I've got no idea how that platform works. So we'll include all of the social media links again in the episode bio, and obviously with the ticket link as well for the gig next Saturday at Sunflower Lounge. And as I say, the new single, "The Lovers Were the Last to Leave," from Rosa Caelum, is released on the 13th of January, and we're going to put the pre-save link as well in the episode bio, and it really does help if you can give that a little pre-save and help the lads out, because it is a fantastic song, but it will help them as well as all other bands as well in terms of getting onto other playlists as well. All that leaves me to say is thanks for listening to the This Is The Music Meets podcast. Please subscribe so you never miss out on any brand new episodes. And if you are loving the podcast, show us some love by giving us a 5-star rating and written review, as it really does help the artists that we interview to be discovered. As I say, lads, thanks very much for coming on. It's been really enjoyable yet again. And I wish you continued success, not just with the new single and obviously the gig next week, but also as well for the rest of 2023, because it does really sound like you've got some really exciting times coming up, and I can't wait to see what's coming up from you boys. So good luck with everything.
Thank you for everything. Cheers. Yeah, appreciate it.